Hello and welcome to the Business Purpose Trends podcast. I'm Phil Preston. This is episode 4 of your weekly updates, which are less than 10 minutes. And actually last week I went a couple of seconds over 10 minutes, but it won't happen again. Today we'll be looking at 2 companies in different industries with the same purpose statement. And it raises questions about, well, what is the purpose of a purpose statement? What is it communicating? Who is it communicating it to? Could or should 2 companies in the same industry have the same purpose statement? And could or should 2 companies in different industries have the same purpose statement? So I will divulge who the 2 companies are very shortly. But before that, what is the purpose of a purpose statement and what's it communicating and to whom? Well, personally, I define business purpose as the benefit to society that an organization or business is aiming to deliver in a financially sustainable way. So the first part is saying the business should be delivering products and services that have a net positive impact on society, i.e., they benefit society. And the second part is about doing it in a competitive or an efficient and effective way. So that means it will be financially sustainable. So again, the statement I used was, it's the benefit to society that a business aims to deliver in a financially sustainable way. If we think about a company like Intel, we create world-changing technology that improves the life of every person on the planet. That's great, and I hope it does that and does it well, but it doesn't need to deliver that competitively in order to be successful in its market and keep delivering that benefit. So not delivering on that purpose for, say, Intel would mean they'd lose brand value, they might lose the trust of their customers, they'll lose their relevance, they'll have higher funding costs and so on. So I'm just repeating, really, as per a previous podcast, the future of business is not about making money any which way you can and giving a little bit back. It's about really clarifying the purpose of the business, which is what's happening at the core of everyday business. It's business as usual, not the ad hoc or occasional. So the reality is that few executives, I think, really understand what business purpose is all about because it's a big shift. And it is the future of business success. So I'd better get out of that rabbit hole before I go too far in. Coming back to the purpose statement, though, what is it communicating and to whom? Well, one of its major roles is to inspire employees by outlining the benefit of the work that they're doing. So it becomes the DNA of your decision-making. It's really impacting the way you form strategy. It's how you operate, put in place policies and processes. And it's about, I guess, people's everyday work. In the book, Good to Great and Built to Last, they're books you may have heard of by Jim Collins, and he did some great work with Jerry Porras in this area. And what they really came up with was, they said, look, defining purpose, yes, it takes a bit of skill, but it's really only 1% of the job. The other 99% is aligning people to that purpose. So that's where the real work happens. So business purpose helps companies focus on what matters. It helps them reduce frictions and distractions. It means they're delivering real value for their customers, and that flows on also for communities, employees, and other stakeholders of the business. And when it's done well, the shareholders will be rewarded handsomely. There are studies to back all this up. It's not just my pipe dream, but being a short timeframe podcast, I don't have time to give every reference. I want to move on to the question, could or should 2 companies in the same industry have the same purpose statement? So you will probably hear differing views on this. And just to make things more confusing, I'll give you 2 lines of thought. One is that a purpose statement for a company should be unique. And I could imagine that would give extra inspiration for the people because they feel like they're part of something that maybe no one else is. It would help differentiate the business from other players in its industry. So that's fine. The other point of view is, or other line of thought is that it doesn't matter. And I actually favor this view because I don't see why a company would try to monopolize a societal benefit. So look at the banking sector and you'll see some very similar statements. And I'll likely cover the banks in more detail in the future. But if we look at 2 of Australia's big 4 banks, the Commonwealth Bank's purpose is to build a brighter future for all. And Westpac's purpose is creating better futures together. Now, they're essentially the same thing, just using slightly different words. And that's okay with me because they're competing to deliver their purpose in the most efficient and effective way. And the one doing it best will be more profitable, it'll be more sustainable over time, and shareholders will be rewarded. So I should add that while most large companies have a purpose statement today. Very few are actually doing a proper assessment or measurement of whether they're delivering on it or not. But that is going to change in future, and that requires new skills, new partnerships, new ways of thinking. Could or should two companies in different industries have the same purpose statement? Well, drum roll. In my research, I came across two companies with virtually identical purpose statements. The first is the Australian General Insurer, IAG. And by the way, Warren Buffett has a shareholding in that. It's a large Australian listed company. And its purpose is to help make your world a safer place. The second company is the Swedish security firm Securitas. Now, they have a little bit of preamble attached to theirs, but it ends up in the same place. So they say, our purpose embraces the expertise and diversity of our people and unites us under one fundamental goal: to help make your world a safer place. So they are basically identical purpose statements. IAG, the insurer, offers products and services to reduce financial risk for its customers by offering loss protection in the event of an event covered by that insurance. So maybe we could cast them as a loss management service. Securitas, on the other hand, provides security solutions, so not just physical guarding services. I imagine that line of business is fairly stagnant. It's more shifting towards the technological side. So that's IT and technology solutions. So maybe we could cast them as a loss prevention or mitigation service. What do we make of all this? Well, both statements seem pretty reasonable for the respective companies. They have different types of offerings attached to the same purpose, and I could imagine that their customers would be using both types of products. So maybe there is scope for market expansion on both sides for each of them, but maybe not. There's a big conversation there. Insurance is a very capital-intensive industry, whereas security isn't so much. It's all food for thought. So what do you make of all this? Are there any other examples front of mind for you? Are there any other questions that this has brought up for you? I'd love to hear them if there are. Thanks for tuning in again to the Business Purpose Trends podcast. I'm a presenter, facilitator, and advisor in this area, so please reach out if your team needs greater clarity on issues around business purpose and shaping the future of success in business. Please subscribe or follow the show if you find it valuable, and recommend it to others with gay abandon if you like. And you'll find contact details and a feedback link in the show notes if you want to get in touch with me. I'd love to hear from you. I'm Phil Preston. Have a great day, and may the purpose trend be with you.